This evening, Hurricane Florence continues to wreak havoc on the Carolina coast. We have the latest next. And a deadly crash killed the driver of a vehicle in Saline County. More coming up. Plus, state education leaders are considering relaxing the requirements to become a teacher in Illinois in hopes of filling more than 1,000 empty teaching positions. We have those stories and more this evening on a Friday evening edition of News 24 at 5. And good evening. Thanks for joining us. We have those stories and more coming up here on News 24 at 5. But we begin in Saline County this evening, where a deadly crash killed the driver of a vehicle in Saline County yesterday. It happened around 8:25 p.m. on East Ernest Reed Road, north of Thomas Road. A blue Ford Ranger, driven by 46-year-old Brandy Bennett of Stone Fort, was headed southbound on the roadway. Bennett had one passenger, 38-year-old Travis E. Conley of New Burnside. Bennett was pronounced deceased at the scene of the crash. Conley refused medical treatment. Police said Bennett drove off the east side of the roadway for unknown reasons. The vehicle then struck a ditch and rolled over, coming to a rest on its roof. Police said the cause of the crash was improper lane usage. To North Carolina this evening, where Tropical Storm Florence has been downgraded to a tropical storm with 70-mile-per-hour winds, but continues to move slowly inland through North Carolina, down into South Carolina, causing life-threatening storm surges. The storm has claimed at least 4 lives, 2 of them in Wilmington. A mother and infant were killed when a tree fell on their house. A father in the same home was transported to the hospital. A third person, a woman, died in Hampstead, North Carolina, in Pender County. A fourth person died in Leonard County, plugging in a generator. The mayor of New Bern, North Carolina, said hundreds of people had been rescued in his city. The eye of Florence directly struck Wrightsville Beach on Friday. The Category 1 storm officially hit this morning around 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time, although its effects had already been felt for hours. According to the 5 p.m. National Hurricane Center update, the impact is expected to be widespread in both Carolinas, with destructive winds, life-threatening storm surge, dangerous surf, torrential rainfall, and flooding affecting multiple communities, and the potential for tornadoes remains. News 24's Terry Rodriguez is in with the latest on that storm and what we can expect if we're headed out to any of those games tonight. Terry, what you seeing? All right, thanks, Terry. Turning to Vienna this evening, where state education leaders are considering relaxing the requirements to become a teacher in Illinois in hopes of filling more than 1,000 teaching positions. Last year, more than 1,400 teaching positions were left vacant in the state of Illinois, but now the Illinois State Board of Education is trying to help the student-teacher ratio, and for some school districts like Vienna, it's an issue that really hits home. Vienna Superintendent Joshua Stafford, like most districts, is dealing with a shortage of teachers. Rebecca Guest has been teaching English at Vienna High School for 15 years. She says she can tell they need more teachers based on the number of students she has this year. State Superintendent of Education Dr. Tony Smith blames the problem on the lack of funding. But how does the state make it more appealing to become a teacher in Illinois? Guest believes one place to start is by making it easier to become a teacher. Smith said one of the strategies the Illinois State Board of Education is considering is taking out some of the testing needed to become licensed. The ISBE proposed a 7-point strategy. The ISBE will discuss their 7-point strategy at their October 17th meeting. Smith said the proposal is currently open for public comment until October 2nd. To view the proposal and the 7-step strategy, visit our website at www.news24si.com. Much more local news, sports, and weather is coming up, but first, here's your Fox News update.
In Fox News. Downgraded, but still deadly. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Florence is now a tropical storm, still battering the Carolinas, and blamed for at least 4 deaths, including 2 in Wilmington, where Fox's Evan Brown is live.
And Lisa, a mother and an infant were killed inside their home when a tree damaged by the hurricane fell, striking the roof. The weather here is unchanged as well. A steady harsh wind continues to pry loose everything from shrubbery to aluminum siding, and the gusts can rock a parked Jeep. It's not supposed to let up either. Local officials here say it could last another full day, Lisa.
Thanks, Evan. Officials say a man was also killed when he tried to plug in a generator and was electrocuted, and paramedics were unable to reach a woman who suffered a heart attack in time because of a downed tree. Over 600,000 without power in North Carolina, and now more than 70,000 outages in South Carolina.
This is something that we have not seen before, this much rain. A hurricane staying on top of us for this long.
Governor Henry McMaster warning they could have widespread flooding too. The Massachusetts governor declares a state of emergency after last night's natural gas catastrophe. Fires and explosions in more than 36 homes, killing 1 person, injuring more than 24. The exact cause still under investigation. Former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort agrees to cooperate with the Justice Department, pleading guilty instead of facing more trials over business-related crimes.
He's accepted responsibility, and this is for conduct that dates back many years, and everybody should remember that.
Defense attorney Kevin Downing, Senate Democrats calling it a victory for the Russia probe special counsel Robert Mueller. President Trump's attorney Rudy Giuliani says the charges had nothing to do with the president or his campaign. He says the president has done nothing wrong. Manafort could face years in prison. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Stop.
No 2 feet are the same, and no 2 people move the same way. Now
Stop.
using smartphone technology, Dr. Scholl's offers custom 3D inserts to provide
Stop.
comfort and support that fit the unique way you move. Get started on the Dr. Scholl's 3D app.
When you have questions about your pregnancy, you shouldn't have to wait for answers. That's why the Patient Support Center at Heartland Women's Health Healthcare handles more than 6,000 calls per week. Our patients can talk directly with a live nurse to get questions answered by a qualified professional. Patients can even use the Heartland Women's Healthcare app to get answers, pay a bill, or make their next appointment. When our patients have questions, we have a team dedicated to finding answers. Heartland Women's Healthcare.
Folks, they're at it again. I've spent my life fighting Nancy Pelosi and Mike Madigan. My opponent has spent his career supporting them. As you know, I never stop fighting for our families. Whether it's creating a stronger economy or bringing our steel jobs back, or reforming the VA to ensure better care for our veterans, or fighting for fair trade and a level playing field, I've never wavered. And you can always count on me to do what's right for all of Southern Illinois. I'm Mike Boston, and I approve this message.
We have great news. Core Med Spa is now the area's exclusive provider of hydrofacial. 3 steps, 30 minutes, the best skin of your life. And it's not a facial, it's hydrofacial. Hydrofacial uses patented technology to cleanse, extract, and hydrate. And hydrofacial is for everyone because it addresses all skincare needs. Face life, face first. Schedule your hydrofacial with Core Med Spa in Marion today.
Don't miss Payback when revenge turns to ruin. A live performance at First Baptist Church, Marion, August 10 through 12, 6 to 9 p.m.
This is a News 24 special report.
And good evening. We have breaking news out of Benton right now, where Brian Pheasant, the Christopher man who was convicted earlier this year of murdering his wife in 2016, was sentenced today to 67 years in prison. A Franklin County jury this past May found Pheasant guilty of first-degree murder in the shooting death of Beth Pheasant. She was 37. She was a nurse and a mother of 6. Brian Pheasant must serve 100% of his sentence. He is 46 years old now, meaning he'd be 113 years old before he would get out of prison. Pheasant's ex-wife and children gave statements at the Friday hearing in Franklin County Court. Beth Pheasant's mother, Alicia Waskigli, submitted a written statement to the judge. Tisha Pheasant, Brian Pheasant's ex-wife, testified on his behalf during the 2-week trial and gave a statement Friday praising Pheasant as a father. She said that even after their divorce, she was a regular fixture in his children's lives and called them nightly to say good night, and that he loved them. She said even while being held in jail, this is a ritual he has maintained. Pheasant's 17-year-old son tearfully read through a prepared statement before Judge Thomas Tedeschi. When he returned to the gallery, Pheasant's son doubled over on the bench and buried his head and silently wept. Pheasant's daughter also said her father taught her a lot. She then went on to read facts about mental illness and suicide. Brian Pheasant's defense had argued during the trial that he was attempting to kill himself before he shot Beth Pheasant twice. Pheasant's daughter noted that this was Suicide Awareness Week. In a one-page statement, Alice, Beth's mother, summed up the cavernous loss she feels as best she could. Brian Pheasant also made a brief statement of allocation in which he said that he did not get a chance during the trial to talk much and say what he thought needed to be said. Before announcing his sentence, Tedeschi said that in these cases there is no winner, everybody's lost. He addressed Pheasant's children. He said he was thankful they shared their fond memories of their dad, and that he will forever wonder how this Brady Bunch of a family will be doing in the wake of the tragedy. When the nearly 70-year sentence was handed down, 42 years for the murder conviction and 25 years on a firearm enhancement, Pheasant said nothing. His family sat silent as well, some with tears streaking their cheeks. Others in the gallery sniffled through quiet sobs, and when the hearing concluded, both families went their separate ways. Tedeschi's words during sentencing seemed to ring true. And for full coverage on this, visit our website at www.news24si.com, and you can see what has happened and the statements made throughout the trial. Much more news, sports, and weather is next. You're listening to News 24 at 5. This has been a special report.
Someone said, to find a man's true character, play golf with him. Likewise, to experience the true character of the region, you should play its golf courses. From the old oaks of Crab Orchard Golf Club to the hills of Kokopelli, across the shores of Pine Lakes to the links at Stardust, find a challenging and diverse range of play that you can only experience when you visit SI.
We offer a large selection of steel products.
We have the largest display in Southern Illinois. We carry probably the biggest selection of chains, chainsaws, accessories, chaps, helmet systems.
We do have a certified steel technician. All of my parts guys are silver certified steel technicians. We offer anything from chain sharpening with automatic chain sharpener to a large selection of parts and experience. And experience is a bit hard to come by these days. We're happy to talk with you via email or on the phone or come in.
Hidden beneath the canopy of Shawnee Forest Country exists a world left over from ancient times, where a sandstone fortress shelters a secret spring, and the brave of heart can scale the Devil's Backbone. Hike trails from the valley bottom up to the canyon ridge for unbelievable views of the forest below. Or swim in the clear, rocky waters of Bellsmith Springs. With more than 280,000 acres of Shawnee Forest Country, the only question is, what will you explore?
All right, thanks, Terry. Much more local news, sports, and weather is coming up next. You're listening to News 24 at 5.
Primary brand that we sell is Kubota.
It's been a very good line for us. We cater more to the sundown farmer, the hobby farmer, the guys that like to have the toys in the yard, work on their hunting properties.
Right now, take advantage of 0% APR for 84 months and payments as low as $129 per month on the Kubota L2501 tractor. See dealer for details.
Or Kubota dealership. It's really about asking questions to try to deliver what the customer's expectations are. Our website, fbmacfoods.com. We're happy to talk with you via email or on the phone or come in.
You owe it to yourself to come in here.
When you lose your teeth, you lose not just the ability to chew and eat and smile, which is a big thing, but you lose a part of yourself.
It was life-changing when I came in the doctor. He showed me videos and models, and these are the choices we had. These were the options.
I had tried dentures, and they were not successful.
For people that are frustrated with wearing dentures, we have new methods and techniques to give people basically a third set of teeth.
When you have an extraction or an implant put in, your first thought is that's going to hurt. I was completely comfortable through this. Dr. Hughes and his staff, they're wonderful.
Training matters, experience matters. The thing which is extremely important is compassion. It brings back your ability to chew.
Come in and see doctor. It's the greatest thing I've ever did for myself.
Restoring a sense of dignity. That's a life-changing event for many, many people. And it's something that we do here on a daily basis at Houston Arts Center.
I don't feel like I can be outworked. That's my claim to fame. I'm going to give you everything that I can in order to sell your property. One of the important things to do is not only look at it and identify a property from the air, but to also get out on them just so that, A, you understand where property lines are, where things fall, where the food plots, where the trails, what do they look like. Many, many times we will carry a chainsaw with us because if there's trees down, we just want to make it as accessible as possible when people shop for farms. When you can put them on a side-by-side and roll them around and kind of give them an overview of the farm, it's really, really super effective. Those are the kind of things that we do extra above and beyond because it's really super important that you know about where those boundaries are. You have to do some of that legwork just so that you can, really represent the property the way it needs to be done. My name's Brandon Swartzlander. Give me a call.
Some visit southernmost Illinois for peace and quiet, while others come for the fruits of the harvest. And then there are those drawn to the excitement and adventure around every turn of this monumental landscape. But no matter what brings you to southernmost Illinois, or what season you visit, there's plenty to see and do. And with our network of inns, cottages, and B&Bs, you can rest assured that there's always a great place to stay. Book your next getaway at ShawneeWineTrailBB.com.
Are you all through the news then? Practically had to tear it.
I've been in practice about 27 years. My name's Dr. Chris Hughes. I'm a general dentist with specialized